No, Tom and Jerry, I grew up on them. My parents would work, so 5 in the morning, I would be right. They would drop me off at my aunt's house, and she would take me to school. But for an hour, I had Tom and Jerry before school. Tom is chasing Jerry around as per usual. He's trying to get him. He's trying to hurt him. He's trying to do something to him just to keep him away from the house, to get rid of him. Lord and behold, he does a mistake by pulling a rug on the steps. And by pulling the rug on the steps, he's also pulling a piano at the top of the steps. And the piano comes crashing down, slams Tom into the wall, and Tom dies. And Tom, his soul is coming out of his body, and there's an escalator right there, and he's going to heaven, right? Stick with me. I know this is weird. Just stick with me, okay? I know it's a weird introduction, but stick with me. So Tom gets to the top of heaven, and there's these beautiful golden gates that say the Heavenly Express, and there's a beautiful train right there that's going to take all those who passed away to heaven. But in order for Tom to get there, he has to pass by the clerk. And he tries to sneak by him, but the clerk stops him and says, "You cannot enter until you get the forgiveness of Jerry." Because his entire life, he lived just to torture Jerry. So Tom goes back and has an hour to get Jerry's forgiveness signed, okay? So he gives him a cake and says, "To my pal." He's like, "Hey, buddy, old pal, won't you forgive me for what we did?" And Jerry's like, "Nah, whatever." He eats the cake. Tom gets mad, chokes him out, tries to get him to sign it, but then the clerk is like, you can't do that. And so Tom leaves him alone. He begs him. He does all these things for him. He finally gets the signature, but at the end, it was too late. The hour was up, and Tom goes to the other place. And Tom is, as you can see, he's burning in a cauldron with a character that looks like Satan. And at the end of the episode, although he ends up in this place, it was all a dream. And Jerry and Tom is so ecstatic that it was just a dream. He goes to Jerry and just kisses him. And he's not even sure what to make of it because Tom is kissing him. And Tom has a life change all of a sudden. Right? That's the whole episode. My question here is, are we saved by works like Tom? In order to get to heaven, he had to do good things. And the good thing he had to do was to get forgiveness from Jerry. Unfortunately, that is not how we're saved. Ephesians 2:8-9 says this: "For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves, it is a gift from God, not by works, so that no one can boast." So in other words, you can be the best Christian, best person in the world. Peter can invest all his money to a church in the Philippines, or he travels the world and just gives money and buys houses and gives them, and et cetera, et cetera. But that is not going to save Peter. It is by grace and God's grace alone. We can sing the best, we can preach the best, we can raise our children the best, but it is ultimately God's grace, a gift from God, that we are saved. That's it. If our hearts have been changed by the Spirit of God, our lives will show the change. We cannot change our hearts or make our characters like God's. We must not trust in our own strength or believe that our good deeds will save us, but our lives will show whether we have the grace of God in our hearts.